Good hump day morning, everyone. Was it hump day morning? No, it's Tuesday morning. I must be anxious for hump day. Anyways, so I was going to film my little part 2 of the best way to acclimate an anemone to your tank. And, nothing went wrong there. Everything's doing fine. See, there's the one I added yesterday. There's the other one I added yesterday. Back there. And here's the new Sherman. All fine. I noticed at the store, the Sherman seemed to have a little bit of a weird tentacle problem. And then, as I was observing what last night looked to be a really pissed off anemone, even though I did a perfectly salinity matched water change, my new rbta unit that's just wonderful, and I heated it up and everything, had the heater from the incubator in the bucket all night. That anemone had, I don't know, I've never seen an anemone shit like this. Like its feces aren't fecal. They're anatomic. It has been shitting itself out. Like, an anemone will shrink its tentacles, kind of like they'll slowly lose mass from starvation. An anemone doesn't go and bite off its own tentacles the way this fucking thing has. Pardon my profanity. I grew up on the streets and whatnot. I don't have those filters. Sorry. But, I've been keeping aquariums since I was 7 years old, 8 years old. Started collecting and playing with marine life and tide pools when I was 5. And I've seen some weird shit with anemones. I've been trying to keep anemones since 1995. And, my first anemone was a sea bay that died. Second anemone was another sea bay that died. The yellow, purple tip ones, PetSmart. My third anemone was a rbta in a 29 gallon. And it lived for a year and 2 months. I like to say a year and a half. I was joking with the pet store lady yesterday. I like to say a year and a half. Because in 90s time, man, that's a long time to keep a rbta, especially in a 29 gallon. But, I understood that this one was bleached before I got it. I got it for its size. And I thought maybe it would do better because I thought I had actually gotten the lights brighter in this tank. And after visiting the store yesterday, it really does seem like I have my lights brighter. The current was whipping it around a little bit. Like, I've never seen an anemone's tentacles get just weak from not that much current. So this morning, I come and from a distance, oh look, the Sherman. yeah, the bunny ears are already going up, is open again. I notice it's browning a little bit like any old green bubble should. That's no big deal. I guess you would have to keep a certain lower, spectrum of LED light, specific spectrum of LED light to get it that colorful. I don't have LED lights, so I can't dial in that spectrum or whatever. Maybe, whatever. Maybe, whatever. Notwithstanding anything that might be a result of my ignorance on the subject, I think I'm pretty sure I have found an anomaly. Okay, so these bleached tentacles here. There's an individual one. It's not showing up, but it's that one right there on the corner of my fingernail between these two higher ones. And it is green. It's a fucking green tentacle sitting in the middle of an otherwise purple anemone. And then I looking out here towards the edge of these over here. No, it's not just the one tentacle. Where this thing bleached, it has started to turn green. What the fuck is that? Like, are these Sherman anemones? Or are they dyed? Or are Sherman anemones just fucking dyed anemones? The way this thing has been chewing off its own tentacles, and its tentacles have just been kind of disintegrating, but it's been mostly open, mostly mouth closed. My tank is healthy, okay? I mean, I raise perculas, you know? I grow baby fish here. Baby fish don't like bad water. This bleached anemone I've had for over a year. It's actually growing again. That's why I thought I could buy more anemones, because that one was growing again. Nothing's wrong with my water. I bought actual test kits. Look at that. Actual fucking test kits for pH, alkalinity, and iodide. That's the only thing I just can't figure out from looking at the tank. My nitrates can't be that high. I siphon my fucking sands. My mini sands. I have collecting areas where actually like the food sits and I can go and siphon it out, or I know exactly where it's going to collect. I'm still running 2 fucking protein skimmers. This monster right here. I'm not testing for nitrates. Nitrates are not the problem. I don't have nitrates. This water doesn't even fucking stay in the tank long enough to have nitrates. I do, at minimum, weekly water changes. At minimum. 5-10 gallons a week out of 81 gallons. 81 gallons is plenty to keep an anemone, believe me. I top off several times a day. I sometimes will sit a jug here and bring it to slow drip and just have like level evaporation for long periods of time, so they get extremely stable water. When I top off, it's either a slow drip down there or a splooge over here. A splash over here. This is a separated divider with a pump from the protein skimmer going from one side back to the other. So if I top off fresh water here, it's going to stay in here and slowly leak its way into there. It's going to get mixed around by that filter. Then it's going to get mixed around by the giant aqua clear. Another power head before it gets down to the overflow bottom tank. And then up to the top tank on relatively imbalanced. A lot more flow going to this tank than that tank. Okay, because this is for filtration. This is for filtering. This is for fun. Wait. So this is my rifle. This is my gun. Yeah. Rifles don't filter. Anyway, I was gonna not make any jokes, but I can't not make jokes on a video because I'm a moron. Yes. Anyways. So, Fucking green. Really? Really? Fucking green tentacles. And this is the day after, but I'm not sure if it has to do with the green bubble tips being introduced. I mean, we already had a mostly bleached green bubble tip, 2 mostly bleached green bubble tips. It seems like this one, while it got bleached even worse from the clowns, this one started to absorb its zooxanthellae. But okay, so this Sherman has been in here for a week now, a little over a week, and this one is from yesterday. This thing has not closed up once. None of these anemones have closed up at all. None of these anemones have closed. They have been open this entire time. This one has been closing up with every change in the fucking light. Closing up with every change in the light. And its tentacles seem to stick together. Its tentacles seem to attach to the free-floating diatoms that I unfortunately have. Because I just got my rbta unit. And I actually ran a freshwater tank for a little while just to see what was up with my local water supply, and there's like all kinds of black fucking algae and shit in it. But anyways, you can see right there, diatomic bacteria has attached to that tentacle. Look at that. These tentacles have been disintegrating. I've never seen anything like this. And this fucker here is green. That whole tentacle, that little one guy right there, in between those 2 pointy ones, that nubby one, that is green, man. Like green. And this, where it hasn't bleached, it's been turning brown. Okay, so today I'm going to be getting my LEDs in, and I'm going to try to simulate the store lighting as best as I can after having studied it for 20 minutes yesterday. And I'm starting to get really pissed off that I bought new fucking lights. Because, I got money coming out of my ass, right? It was fucking free anemone, supposedly. Well, not free. I mean, I fucking worked my ass off for these damn... For my store credit. And they're getting a bunch of Picasso perks, okay? Bunch of Picasso perks. Little Picassos. Not very Picasso. They're all over in here. And in there. And I'm having a hard time not getting really pissed off right now. So I'm going to try to go find a way to make a joke about this so I don't flood central Louisiana again. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'm just trying to document my experience. If you'd like for the instructional how to acclimate your anemone so it stays open for the next 24 hours after you introduce it to your tank and attaches to the spot. Oh, one more thing. Okay, so this one came from a dark spot in the dealer tank. And this one over here came from a light spot, the one back there. And she put them all 3 in one bag, which is annoying. But, dealer to dealer, I can't fucking, complain too much. I breed clownfish. I skimp on stuff. I ask them for free bags, I save the bags, but I use. Yes, I'm going to clean that later. Okay, shut up. Well, so my strategy was pretty simple. At first, I thought I was going to put both of the green bubbles over here and let the one that liked the light climb forward. Well, the one that liked the light just wouldn't attach into there. And it just obviously seemed to start wanting to go towards the light. So I took that one and I just moved it over there. And then it climbed all the way back there, just like that one did when we first got it and put it right there. It climbed straight back there. Well, first it climbed up there for a while. And Bubbles and Zoom did not like that. And then it climbed back that way. And then it came back around the other way, all up underneath this anemone, and settled where it is now. And hasn't moved since. But that's not been too much of a length of time. This one's pretty much stayed put. Put it right there on the rock, and it attached itself and just moved back in a little more. It's getting about the same amount of light it was in the corner, in the dark corner of that dealer tank. I have no idea where this one was. I believe it was on the back wall. It was relatively well lit in the tank before we got it. This one was in a similar spot in the tank. But yeah, these two being one like the dark light, one like the low light, I put them both in a place where they kind of had options. And the one that more eagerly gripped in the darkness, I assumed is the one that came from the darkness. So you can kind of, if you make sure your hands have been soaking in vinegar after washing them in antibacterial soap and they've been in the tank for hours anyways, you can handle anemones a little bit, but you really have to be like, I'm sorry, I don't want to touch you. And also, after where you've touched them, you're going to have slime all over your fingers, okay? You need one of these. If you don't have one of these, get one of these, okay? By sucking that in really fast, I just created a bunch of micro bubbles, okay? Let's see if I can demonstrate. Okay? Now, where I touched the bases of the anemones without disturbing the tentacles, because they were still mostly closed up, okay? I just kind of bathed it with the microbubbles just to get my proteins off of there. Savvy? Short of that, people don't have much trouble doing invert safe cleansing type things. There's even some people have like a ciprofloxacin treatment for them. Stress guard, Seachem stress guard has no ill effects on them. I don't know if it actually helps, but the antiseptic properties can definitely help in the bacteria issues, I would think. So I don't really care what color this winds up, but I'm really pissed off because I was, the whole purpose of buying the rose anemones is I want my perculus to be adapted to rose anemones, okay? So that their babies will take to either green or rose anemones, bubble tips. And I thought, as a clownfish breeder, that's a responsible thing for me to do, is to make sure that whatever anemone that they see, they're already imprinted on it. There's going to be no, fucking 24-hour wait period or anything like that. They're just going to see the anemone and be like, my anemone, hello. And that's how these guys are. If I put babies in this tank, they piss them off immediately. They just go right for the anemones and want to be with their parents and their anemone. And it's because they're not raised in flower pots. Which, yes, naturally means eventually I'm going to have to get anemones for these guys. I know, but cross that bridge when we come to it. So, coming up next on the Lost Begotten, actual Lost Begotten person, thank you, Maximo, for your highly regular and relaxing videos. I feel bad for not being able to keep up with crap lately. But I've been keeping up just enough with it to keep my hands on the situation without flapping my gums about it. Because the less I flap my gums about it, the more my hands can do. Anyway, this is how karma works. So if Mr. Bob Finner's watching this, this is my Mai Tai. And I might have told you about my email a while back. She is bonded with this Accelerus. That's that. He's not that small. I mean, he's small. He's a male. He's just a regular Accelerus. She is giant. I am 6'3". My hands are 10 inches long. Truperculus. My. Truperculus. My. God, that's a big fish. So we're going to try to get her some sort of new giant Accelerus. Is going to be on the market. And I'm going to see what kind of anemones I can get her interested in. I think it'd be great if I could actually get her into a condi, but not in that fucking tank. Okay, but I have smudge filters. So I could do what I want if I wanted to, but yeah, probably just gonna wait till one of these splits. Kind of the plan currently. But an odd pair like that, thinking that's an Accelerus and a maroon. So maroon possibly take to a long tentacle, a sea bay, possibly even a condylactus. And then, of course, the Accelerus, riteri, and rose bubbles. Accelerus not that likely to take to a green bubble, oddly enough. Maroons also prefer the rose bubble. So, once I figure out what the hell is going on with this anemone, I'm considering moving this whole rock with both of those anemones, green and whatever, right there. Green bubble hang down that way. Let the rose be up in the corner. Although that's not the ideal place for where my is. The only other option puts it on the power filter side of the return line. See, if for some reason those things detach and float away, which I don't have that problem in my tank, I know how to fucking put it in them anywhere it's supposed to go. But if they detach, they'll go in the overflow first. Okay, and that's fine. They can clog up the overflow or whatever all they want. You know, I don't care. They'll make it down eventually. You know, there's no shredding up with a propeller down there. They'll never make it all the way that way. There's not enough current going that way, right? I almost ended this video like 10 minutes ago. How about that? But yeah. So that's the idea. I got my return pipe is right about here. I keep those guys over there. Less likelihood of them coming over here. And after I feel safe, I could, maybe detach the sponge filters if I put those on. But that's a long time in the future. I did make some more recent changes other than the new weird phytoplankton. It's like a phytoplankton flux capacitor. Here I have a similar looking contraption. We have a new S-Shops Overflow Nano Box. Which, pretty cool. I wish this guy was still on eBay. I couldn't find his store. I guess I should have went over there and looked at the label. Damn. Anyways, the S-Shops one is just fine. It's actually smaller than the ones he sold. And I needed like a really tight corner fit. Because I was just tired of this. This was my overflow box before for this tub. 2 fucking airline hoses on a power head holder. And, I had to keep it insulated. So now we have this. Let's get this clear section here. It's flowing out like there. It's flowing out on the other side of this live rock into some chaetomorpha. We got air stones going on both sides, keeping everything nice and oxygenated. There you go. So this is now my massive canister filter. My canister sump. It also has Picassos. Hello, Picassos. Hello, my name is Pablo. This is also a good place for splashing off with top-off water. It takes its sweet-ass time mixing in, drains down. That's why I keep that plate right there. Well, that's why I have that plate there currently. This is my Lee's Countercurrent Air-Powered Protein Skimmer. There is a small box filter with Fluval Biomax in it. And this is going to kind of be cool. Because I have 2 of these pieces cut here. Yeah, I got another one right here. And I don't got any other use for this. So I'm thinking I'm going to keep this handy. And kind of let this build up with algae and swap them out and clean them out. So that'd be my, kind of like a mini algae turf scrubber. See, I mean, it's a clear pipe going right along the side of a, I believe that's a 50-50. Was a 50-50. Gotta love Core Life Power Compacts, man. That bulb is at least 8 years old. Holy shit. That bulb is 8 years. Wow. That's from 2009. Wow, that's 8 years old. Okay, so anyways, my egg collecting, harvesting tub. But that's not new. That's just top secret. Anyways, so coming up next in my next video, whatnot, I'll be demoing and comparing the 2 cheapest marine reef LED fixtures on the market that I'm aware of that are worth any quality. Like this one. This is not quality. Not quality. Not quality at all. Don't get it unless you just enjoy annoying things. I kind of enjoy annoying things, so it's working for me. Fucker's going on my Refugio. Okay, that's. But in a little while, I'm going to have one Core Life Aqualite S and a Current USA Marine Orbit. 30-inch. Each of them is 30 inches. So we're going to figure out which one's brighter and we're going to put it on the longer tank. Okay, I'm betting the current's going to go there. The core life's going to go on there. But I'm not going to act right away. I'm just going to install the core life on that one first to make sure it's bright enough. Because I might just wind up putting both of them on there. But either way, what we're going to have is a comparison, spec by spec, price by price, experiential, and I'm just going to give my general observations of the frequency output, since I can see more than just about any human being. Like serious, I can see higher levels of light frequencies than most people. It's kind of annoying. You wouldn't believe the headaches I get in places that don't change their bulbs. Anyway. Oh, the few little weird things that make Jesus different.